What if I told you that there was an NHL player who couldn't stick handle well, but still managed to fake out everyone? From power moves along the boards to his deadly fake shots. Brendan Shanahan was truly one of the greatest goal scorers in NHL history, and his highlights are still amazing to watch today. But how did he develop this unique ability to fool defenders that allowed him to score over 650 goals and win 3 Stanley Cups? And why did he deliberately choose to use his body and positioning instead of fancy stick handling like everyone else in the league? If you love stories about players who defy expectations, then hit that like button and subscribe. Brendan Shanahan's journey proves that success isn't about fitting the mold. It's about finding your own way to win. And his early years tell an incredible story of determination, skill, and perseverance. Let's dive into it. Well, to find out, we have to go back to 1983. Mimico, Ontario, a working-class neighborhood in Toronto, where a 14-year-old Brendan Shanahan was trying to keep up with older, bigger players on outdoor rinks. While most kids his age were focused on learning fancy dekes and toe drags, Shanahan was learning something very different. His older brothers, who were much bigger than him, wouldn't let him score easily. "They'd knock me down if I tried to be too fancy," Shanahan once said. "I learned pretty quick that I needed to use my body, shoot fast, and keep things simple if I wanted to score." Unlike many future NHL stars who grew up with backyard rinks or private coaches, Shanahan came from a family of firefighters. His dad was a firefighter who taught him the value of hard work and tragically passed away from Alzheimer's when Brendan was just 15 years old. After losing his father, hockey became even more important to him. It wasn't just a game, it was his way to honor his dad's work ethic. During his time with the Toronto Marlboros minor hockey program, Coach David Thompson noticed something special about Shanahan. "This kid can't stick handle through a crowd to save his life, but give him half a second of space and he'll make you pay," Thompson said. Instead of trying to fix this weakness, Thompson encouraged Shanahan to develop a different skill set, using his growing frame to shield the puck, developing a lightning-quick release, and mastering the art of the fake shot. By age 16, Shanahan had grown to 6 feet 2 inches and was using his size to create space in ways other skilled players couldn't. He developed a unique approach where he'd use subtle shoulder fakes and body positioning to get defenders leaning the wrong way, rather than relying on fancy stick handle. His London Knights junior teammate Dave Gagner remembered, "Shanny would have the puck along the boards, give a little shoulder shimmy, and suddenly be gone. No fancy moves, just smart positioning and timing." But this unusual style wasn't appreciated by everyone. When NHL scouts came to watch him play for the London Knights in the Ontario Hockey League, many questioned if his game would translate to the pros. "This kid doesn't have the hands to make it," one scout wrote in his report. They believed that without elite stick handling, Shanahan would struggle against NHL defensemen. This doubt would push Shanahan to prove that you didn't need flashy moves to become one of the most dominant forwards in hockey history. Brendan Shanahan's road to the NHL wasn't smooth, but it shaped him into the player he would become. As a teenager, he played junior hockey for the London Knights in the Ontario Hockey League, where he quickly made a name for himself. He wasn't the most graceful puck handler, but his shot was powerful. His positioning was smart, and he had an instinct for scoring that made him stand out. Scouts were intrigued, but uncertain. Could a forward thrive in the NHL without elite stick handling? Despite doubts, Shanahan remained confident in his approach. He once said, "I never worried about being fancy. My job was to put the puck in the net, and I figured out how to do that my own way." His mindset was simple: efficiency over style. He wasn't interested in dazzling moves, he wanted results. Off the ice, he faced challenges that tested his determination. Growing up in a working-class Irish family, he learned early that success had to be earned through effort. He carried that mentality into hockey, pushing himself in practices, absorbing advice from coaches, and studying the best goal scorers in the game. One coach who saw his potential was Gary Agnew, who helped him refine his shot placement and encouraged him to trust his instincts rather than force a style that didn't suit him. By the time the 1987 NHL draft came around, teams were paying attention. His numbers in junior hockey proved he could score, and his physicality gave him an edge over smaller, finesse-focused forwards. The New Jersey Devils saw something special in him and selected him second overall. For Shanahan, it was the moment that validated his unconventional playing style. He had made it to the NHL, and now he had the chance to prove his approach worked at the highest level. Brendan Shanahan entered the 1987 NHL draft as one of the most intriguing prospects. His size and goal-scoring ability made him a top pick, but there were lingering doubts about how his unconventional approach would translate to the pro level. While many forwards relied on fancy stick handling to create scoring chances, Shanahan took a more direct route, finding open ice, positioning himself well, and unleashing his powerful shot. Despite skepticism from some scouts, the New Jersey Devils saw his potential and selected him second overall. It was a bold move, but Shanahan didn't let the pressure get to him. Instead, he focused on proving he belonged. His first NHL coach, Jim Schoenfeld, recognized his unique strengths right away. "You don't have to be flashy to be effective," he told Shanahan early on, encouraging him to lean into his natural ability rather than forcing a style that didn't suit him. Shanahan's rookie season showed glimpses of what was to come. While he wasn't the most polished player, he found ways to score and contribute. His physical presence made him a challenge for defenders, and his quick release caught goalies off guard. The critics who doubted his stick handling soon realized that he didn't need to dangle around defenders. He had his own way of getting past them, and it worked. This was just the beginning of a career that would prove that hockey isn't always about finesse. It's about playing to your strengths and making an impact where it matters most. Brendan Shanahan's early years in the NHL were about proving himself. While he wasn't the most skilled puck handler, he made up for it with his strength, hockey IQ, and a lethal shot. He never tried to be flashy. He focused on what worked. "I don't need to embarrass defenders, I just need to beat them," he once said. And that mindset helped him thrive. At first, teammates weren't sure what to make of his style. Some assumed a forward who couldn't dangle wouldn't be much of a threat. But once they saw him in action, they realized how dangerous he really was. Shanny didn't waste time with extra moves. He just found space and let it rip, recalled a teammate. He quickly earned respect for his ability to score in ways defenders didn't expect. One of his biggest influences early on was veteran defenseman Ken Daneyko. While Daneyko played on the other side of the ice, he recognized Shanahan's potential and helped him understand how to outmaneuver defenders using positioning rather than stick handling tricks. Shanahan listened, adjusted his play, and became even harder to defend. He also worked hard to refine his shot release. Since he wasn't going to weave through opponents with skill, he needed to make sure his shot was unpredictable. He studied how the best goal scorers released the puck, adjusted his mechanics, and soon became one of the most reliable finishers in the league. As he gained confidence, fans took notice. His fearless playing style, combined with his goal-scoring ability, made him a fan favorite. Jerseys with his name started selling, and he became one of the young stars in the league. His first playoff appearance was a big test. The speed and intensity of postseason hockey were unlike anything he'd experienced. He had moments where he showed his potential, but the Devils fell short. That playoff loss taught Shanahan a valuable lesson. Regular season success wasn't enough. If he wanted to be great, he needed to be the kind of player who delivered when it mattered most. And from that moment on, he never stopped working to become that player. Brendan Shanahan's career took a major turn in 1991 when the New Jersey Devils traded him to the St. Louis Blues. It was a shock, but he saw it as an opportunity to redefine his game. "I wasn't going to sulk about it. If anything, I wanted to prove I was worth the move," he later said. And prove it, he did. In St. Louis, Shanahan found another level. His scoring exploded, and he recorded his first 50-goal season in 1992-93, a career best performance that solidified him as one of the league's most dangerous forwards. He wasn't just a reliable goal scorer anymore, he was a legitimate star. Despite his personal success, the Blues struggled to make a deep playoff run. Coaching changes, roster issues, and tough matchups kept them from breaking through. That's when Mike Keenan stepped in as head coach, bringing a demanding, often controversial style. Keenan pushed Shanahan to sharpen his overall game, not just his scoring ability. "You're more than just a shooter. Be the guy who makes things happen in every shift," Keenan told him. It forced Shanahan to play a more complete, aggressive style, making him not just an offensive weapon, but an all-around force. With this new mindset, Shanahan adjusted how he approached the game. He focused more on physical play, improved his defensive awareness, and even became a better leader in the locker room. "I learned that hockey isn't just about talent, it's about knowing how to win," he reflected years later. Playoff success finally came when Shanahan helped lead the Blues to a strong run, showing his ability to step up in crucial moments. But once again, their Stanley Cup dream fell short. That loss weighed on him. He realized that individual success was great, but without winning, it never felt complete. It was the final push he needed. He had to find a way to take his game to a championship level, and soon that opportunity would come. Brendan Shanahan's path to a Stanley Cup victory wasn't instant. It took years of adjustments, trades, and learning how to balance his personal playing style with a winning system. In 1996, he got his chance when he was traded to the Detroit Red Wings, a team built for championship success. Unlike his previous teams, where he was often expected to carry the offense, Detroit had depth, experience, and a clear focus on winning it all. This wasn't just a team looking to compete. This was a team expecting to win, and I needed to fit into that mindset fast, Shanahan recalled. Under legendary coach Scotty Bowman, the Red Wings operated with precision. Bowman didn't need Shanahan to completely reinvent his game. He just wanted him to refine it to be even more effective. That season, the Red Wings dominated the league, finishing near the top of the standings, with Shanahan playing a crucial role in their success. The playoffs were intense, but Detroit was prepared for the challenge. In the conference finals, Shanahan proved his value, scoring in a critical moment against the Colorado Avalanche, a heated rival that had previously denied Detroit a championship. His goal shifted momentum, helping the Red Wings punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. The finals, however, weren't easy. Detroit faced the Philadelphia Flyers, known for their aggressive, hard-hitting play. The first few games were tense, and frustration started creeping in. That's when Bowman reminded the team, "We don't panic. We adjust, we focus, and we finish." The Red Wings responded by playing disciplined hockey, sticking to their game plan, and controlling the pace. Shanahan thrived in those final games, delivering key plays that helped Detroit take the series. When the final buzzer sounded and Detroit secured the Stanley Cup, Shanahan let it all sink in. "Winning isn't about being the best individual, it's about finding your place in something bigger," he reflected. As he lifted the cup above his head, he wasn't just celebrating a championship, he was celebrating the journey that had led him there. For Shanahan, that victory wasn't just a personal milestone. It was proof that his unique approach to the game could lead to the ultimate prize. And from that moment on, he was no longer just a goal scorer, he was a champion. After winning his first Stanley Cup, Brendan Shanahan wasn't satisfied. He wanted more. The Red Wings were still a powerhouse, and in 1998, they charged back to the finals with the same determination. Shanahan played a key role, scoring clutch goals and bringing the physical presence that made him so tough to play against. When Detroit won its second straight cup, it felt like validation. He wasn't just a champion, he was part of a dynasty. But keeping that level of dominance wasn't easy. In the following seasons, injuries started creeping in, and Detroit struggled with roster changes. The team remained competitive, but deep playoff runs became harder. One of the toughest moments came in the 2003 playoffs, when Detroit was eliminated early by the Anaheim Ducks. The Red Wings had been heavy favorites, but something was off. They couldn't find their rhythm, and Shanahan, despite playing hard, couldn't push them through. That one hurt, he admitted. "We had the talent, we had the experience, but we just couldn't get it done." It was a reminder that success in hockey is never guaranteed. As Shanahan got older, his role began to shift. He was still a goal scorer, but his ice time started decreasing. He wasn't the fastest player anymore, and younger stars were taking center stage. In 2006, he left Detroit and signed with the New York Rangers, hoping to bring his leadership and experience to a team chasing a championship. He had solid seasons with the Rangers, including a 29-goal year in 2006-07, but the deep playoff run he hoped for never came. In 2009, Shanahan returned to where it all started, the New Jersey Devils. It wasn't about chasing records anymore. He just wanted to finish his career in a place that mattered to him. He played his final games that season, and then, after more than 2 decades in the league, he hung up his skates. Looking back, Shanahan's legacy was undeniable. He wasn't the most skilled stick handler, and he never tried to be flashy, but he was one of the most effective power forwards to ever play the game. His career was proof that hockey isn't just about talent, it's about grit, intelligence, and finding ways to win. And that's exactly what he did. Brendan Shanahan wasn't the kind of player who wowed fans with fancy stick handling or highlight reel dekes, but that didn't matter, because he found a way to beat defenders without them even realizing how he did it. His ability to read the game, find open space, and unleash his powerful shot made him one of the most dangerous forwards of his era. While some doubted his approach early on, Shanahan proved that hockey isn't just about finesse. It's about knowing how to score, how to win battles, and how to adapt. Over the years, he refined his skills, improved his stick handling, and became more complete as a player. But even at his peak, his style always stood out. He was tough, smart, and relentless, earning respect from teammates, opponents, and fans alike. His willingness to play the game his way made him a fan favorite across the hockey world. When people look back at Shanahan's career, they don't just see the goals or championships. They see a player who played with heart, who found a way to win no matter what, and who left a lasting impact on the sport. His legacy isn't just about what he accomplished, it's about how he did it. And that's why he'll always be remembered as one of the most unique forwards in NHL history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Brendan Shanahan's incredible journey, don't forget to like and subscribe. His story is proof that success isn't always about talent. It's about grit, determination, and finding your own way to win. There are so many more legendary hockey stories to explore, so stay tuned for the next one.